What's good, bro? How you?
Yo, I'm good, man. Can't complain. It's been a wild couple of weeks, but it is what it is. Pun intended.
Pun intended. Pun intended, man. So look, before we get into any of the other shit, when I reached out to do this interview, you was telling me that you from 139th and 7th and 8th
Yo, my
Harlem,
whole life, man, since '73, since '73, bro.
Strivers Row.
I was row.
Word, man.
2019.
You never came down to Lenox. You never came to the park or nothing.
Bro, every now and then, man, like I told you, I like super young. Like I balled with Big L, Ali Mo, I balled with Ali Mo.
Wow.
I told you McGruff was my dude. So McGruff used to actually hang on my block. He
Okay.
used to come up the street and hang with us. So,
Right.
I mixed it up a little bit, but I hooped mostly on St. Nick, so I didn't come down there a lot to play.
That's what's up. You ever play ball in high school or anything like that?
Bro, the crazy thing is I found out today I played 91, 92 for Martin Luther King, which we played Manhattan Center. Now,
Okay.
we talking 33 years ago, but I do think we have in common Coach Dave. He coached me my senior year, and he hit some of my people saying, yo, Ray played against Cam in high school. Like, I remember Rich Parker from that team. I don't remember like a lot, but I was like, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's really that close, and dudes don't even like Harlem is a family, bro. It's a small network, man.
Yeah, Coach
Everybody.
Dave. I went to Man Center, but Coach Dave actually coached me in the summertime. Now was my coach. 91, 92. That's the year we actually went to the championship. So it's hard not to know what I was doing out there. That's crazy. You must not have been playing like that because I killed King that year, man. Elvis, Rico.
I was starter, captain. Like I
Listen.
said, it's the memory. You was hooping, you was killing. It's cool. Like,
So you play with Rico and them?
of course,
Yeah.
Rico Gerard.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's my guys, man. Shout to I haven't seen them in years, but shout to Rico and everything. But this is a really small world. I had no idea you right up the block from me, man.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, man. Yo, so let me ask you, how'd you start with being a male dancer? How did that career become how did that become a choice for a career path for you?
Yeah, I have to admit, Cameron he slow walked this guest. He really did. He slow walked the guest. He really asked him questions that um we would have asked. Okay, so that's the most important part um when you're watching this, and I have to break it up so that they won't strike me. So I'm learning.
Man, offer some young man sucker shit, man. I broke up with my girlfriend, and the reason why we broke up was she started working in the strip club, right? So she working in the strip club, came home, like, yo, I'm meeting a bunch of dudes, like, I'm expendable, and that young 21-year-old mind was on some, yo, I'll show her, I'm gonna get on the stripper shit too.
Right.
And I really went hard to try to get in the business. And actually, when I got in it, and you see all of the women, and you can make some paper if you do it the right way,
Right.
it was like best breakup ever, man. So 30 years long on that hustle.
That's what's up.
So I just want y'all to be prepared because Cameron is not playing today, y'all. He is not playing around with rumors, especially ones that's tied to powerful folks like Diddy. Cam, he is not scared. He is asking stuff like, what were folks getting paid? Who brought the baby oil? Who bought the Vaseline? Was there a guest list or a freak off flight? Like he is getting with it. So enjoy.
So how did the first time Puff and Cassie get in contact with you?
Yo, they called up like they was just hiring a regular party. Cassie hit me directly, said her name was Janet, and said it was her birthday. So her husband said she could hire a dancer. So I just booked it like a regular party. At the time, it was like $200. I gave her a quote. She said she was going to be there with some friends. They gave me an address and the time to show up. And I'm thinking I'm showing up to do a party, just a regular little strip tease for a birthday girl.
But like, that's a great answer. How do they find you? Like, is it ads, internet? Like, how do they even track somebody like you down?
Oh yeah, yo, I all my marketing and stuff in my business is
I'm
like
sorry. Cam is so goddamn funny to me, I swear.
SEO, so Google searches. So if you go online in the New York City area and you put in male strippers for hire or whatever, my website's gonna come up.
Got
So they just clicked on the website and called the number, and I just happened to pick up the phone. It wasn't. I don't think they were looking for me specifically.
right.
I just picked up the phone.
Got you. Where did these? Well, let's say the first time. Where did these events usually happen at? Puff's house, Cassie's house, hotel. Like, where did these events happen at?
I was all super high end hotels.
Got you.
So I remember it was the Trump Tower, Essex House, the London Hotel, the Gramercy Hotel. It was another hotel, Central Park West. I don't know, I don't remember the name, but they were all along the lines of super high end, super suites. One of the suites, man, in the London Hotel, it was so crazy when I got out of it. I Googled it, and the joint was like 30K a night, yo.
Wow.
I never seen nothing like this in my life, man. The hotel room looked like, you know, that scene in the Titanic when they walk in that ballroom and the stairway well comes down.
Right.
Like the hotel room was crazy.
How often did they call you or book you?
Hello, my name is Adam Ferrari, the Chief
Cam be asking. He asks the questions that we want to know.
I like I said in my I can't remember the exact amount of time. So I estimated between 8 and 12 times,
Right.
but it would be like every few months. But it would be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I would come Friday night, then they would come back Saturday night, then come back Sunday, and then I might not be called for 3, 4 months, and then they'll just pop up. So at the time, I thought they lived out of town. You know, they would. She would call me from a Cali number, so I.
Hey, this goes to show you that you never know what the fuck people are into, especially behind closed doors and in their home. You do not know. So that's why I am so big on like not letting your kids spend the night over people's house. You just never know what people are into.
Assumed they were out of state, and she basically said, "Yo, can I hit you when we're in town?"
Right.
But it would be multiple nights in a row, but months in between.
Right. And if some of these questions that I asked you may seem repeated because you've been asked these same questions, I just want, we have a different audience from with the interviews you've done, and some people may not know the trial or what's happening. So some of these questions I don't want to seem like it's redundant if you answer them 100 times this week. So I was reading that in the beginning, you didn't even know what was going on, or that it was even Puff was participating. Could you explain your first time going to one of these events?
Yeah, so I really believed they were a married couple. Like when I got there, I didn't recognize Cassie.
Right.
Like I saw her face, she looked familiar, but honestly, when I saw her, I thought she was Megan Good.
Right.
Like if I was gonna pin, I was like, yo, I think this is Megan Good. But then when I looked on the Google, Megan Good was much thicker. So I couldn't really figure it out. So and then when she said her husband, when Puff walks out, to finally, do his voyeur thing and see what's going on.
So hold on real quick, real quick. It didn't start with Puff in the room.
Never started with him in the room.
Okay.
It would only be me and her. And she had said at some point,
I cannot stand Cameron Killer Giles. He get on my nerves. I swear.
her husband's going to walk in and I'm not supposed to acknowledge him, look at him, act like he's not even in the room.
Right.
So we'll be like on the couch, let's say on one end of the room, and then like on the far end of the room, it'll be like a table with a chair. And eventually he'll come in the room and like sit in the area across the room, like watching, and we're supposed to act like he's not there.
How often, pardon me, not how often, how long did it take until you realized that it was Diddy?
Bro, like I want to say like over a year.
Get the fuck out of here. A whole
Over a
year? Why?
Over a
So
year.
so let me. How long? Okay, let's. I want to stick to that for a second. But how long?
I don't think Cam believe him. A year? You having sex with a woman? He said a couple of times a month. I don't know. I don't know. Do y'all think he knew it was Diddy sooner than that? I don't know.
Did you know till it was Cassie?
So the minute I found out it was Diddy, that's when I knew it was Cassie.
So it
Because
took a year for you to find out for Cassie as well.
yeah, yo,
Okay.
I didn't recognize it. Like when I jumped out of it, I did try to do the Google searches. Like I wanted to try to figure out who it was,
Right.
but I'm Googling a married couple.
I believe him.
So every result I'm getting is not leading me to the right places because they're not married.
Got you. Got you.
You know, so then and I never found out with a visual cue. It was a hotel, the ex's house, and I would get there, let's say 2 in the morning, and sometimes nothing would pop off for hours. So in this case, they threw me in like an extra room in the suite,
Mhm.
and just to kill time, I happened to cut on the TV, but and the TV had a welcome message. So the
Got you.
TV said, "Yo, ex's house would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs," and I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy!" Like I had no idea.
So that's how you found out that it was Cassie and Diddy by just cutting on the TV and seeing the introduction on the television.
I
Wow.
cutting on the TV.
Wow. Wow. I seen also in the transcripts that you would say that it was just a sex scene in the beginning. Nothing, no intercourse. How long until you had actual intercourse? What was happening in the first few sessions when it wasn't any intercourse?
Now it was only the first session where it wasn't intercourse.
Okay, so
Only the,
only so 10 times, one time it was only not intercourse the first time.
the first time, and it was offered, yo. But I was so bugged out, like this wasn't my hustle, right?
Right.
So I'm really in there thinking this is a married couple, and they want to do some voyeur sexy scene.
Mhm.
So we did the like set up on the couches, the baby all rubbed down or whatever, and then at some point Puff jumped up. I didn't know it was him. He left the room. She left the room to talk to him, and she came back like, "Yo, that was perfect. We happy. We good."
Mhm.
And then she said to me, "Yo, do you want to finish?" Meaning, I guess, do I want to bust a nut? You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And my first example, I'm trying to be professional. Like I'm like, nah, I'm good. Like if y'all good, I'm good. This ain't about me. And I just left. But she did say, "All right, well, when we get back in town, we want to hit you again. Is it okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I just got 2K to rub down like a super bad chick. So I'm not, of course, I'm down if you want to hit me back." But it was offered to me the first time, and I actually turned it down, trying
Was
to be on some professional
right. Was baby oil mandatory?
mandatory,
Yeah, he got a baby oil. That shit's mandatory. I seen also in the transcripts that you said it was just supposed to be like a sexy scene, meaning that Puff would tell you to move the candles a certain way, or tell her to move the candles a certain way for lighting purposes for his visual. Could you explain that?
Yeah, so like when I first got
Yeah, Cameron is so funny to me. I swear to God, this dude is. He asking all the questions that people in the hood want to know. These are hood questions, y'all.
in there, she made it clear that this was a scene we were setting up for her husband.
Okay.
So, it was like couches, all the furniture in the suite was covered in sheets. Like everything was covered in sheets. So it was like a single chair across from like a big sofa. And we were supposed to sit on there and kind of, I'm supposed to put oil on myself. She's supposed to do the same. And then at some point we're rubbing on each other and we doing um, little like masturbating. I'm masturbating, she's masturbating, but you could tell it was act.
Right.
Like we're like in character, like one of them corny Cinemax movies. You know what I'm saying? Like the
Right.
sex scene in the little Cinemax movies. So we're trying to make it look like the part, and then he would give subtle cues because he's across the room and the room's dark, everything's candle lit. And
So basically, basically Diddy was choreographing a porn scene, right? He was producing, he was setting up a scene.
He'll say like, yo, move a little bit, yo, move the candle, I can't really see, or move the body. And he would never talk to me, not one word to me, only to her. And if his instructions for me, it goes to her and she tells me. So it was like a real scripted kind of routine, and it really went like that every single time.
So he was basically orchestrating a sex scene without directly talking to you, but telling her certain things.
Exactly.
Wow.
Did you know that you do not have to wait until you pass to receive?
Cameron got to be the funniest dude on TV, man. How did he get this interview?
Um, Crazy. I seen also in the transcript, or I actually heard you talk about this, that Puff will have the Muslim mask on and be naked from the neck down. What what was that like? Pause.
Bro, that was like the weirdest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's already weird knowing like a dude coming in the room,
Mm-hmm.
you know, but I'm messing with the chick, and mind you, I'm seeing all this peripheral.
Right.
So it's extra crazy because it's not straight on. So it's at the corner of my eye. I'm like, yo, this dude got on like a veil, and he's after time eating off, and he's walking side to side. So it was definitely a difficult space to try to be in. But I ain't no front, bro. At the time, I'm greedy. I want this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the scenario, and I'm trying to make it work. But
Right.
it was tough, man. It was tough.
It was just a veil. Somebody told me he had a Yankee fitted over the veil, like what, like everything. So everything was just covering the face, super duper pause, and naked from the neck down every single time.
Every single time, man. So that's a little construed, right? It
Right.
was a veil, just period. Like the ones the Muslim women wear, so
Yeah.
you don't see anything but the eyes. But I think at some point after like the year and change, and it was a while, he wore the veil for a minute.
Right.
I think they might have figured out. I saw the TV, and
This,
at some point
this
he
how
just
Diddy was.
changed to a Yankee fitted. So at some point he dropped the veil, and I guess he knew. Maybe he saw the TV on, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I probably left it, and I guess he figured out, homie figured it out. So he stopped wearing a veil, and he was just like rocker fitted.
Right. I also seen that you say when you and her were doing what you guys were doing, he would be pacing back and forth with a bottle of Astroglide.
Yeah, man. Every time, it was obviously something he was into in terms of visually watching this. So
What was
it would
being done with
be,
the Astroglide though? Paul.
I guess he's using it as lubricant to beat off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That was, he's pleasuring himself during the action. So I'm obviously he's using that for lube.
Do you consider Puff a cuckold?
Yeah, I mean the whole time that's what I thought it was.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I thought it was.
It's because you keep using the word voyeur. This is
Do y'all know what a cuckold is? You can Google it.
cuckold activity.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, we're gonna step it up to cuckold.
Yeah. So I'm saying voyeur because that's what she said to me.
Right.
Like when I came in.
That, you know why? Because they down. You know why? Because voyeur don't seem as bad as cuckold. So they downplay it with the yo. I'm just a voyeur. Nah, you was an official cuckold, nigga. Because voyeur can mean you watching anybody, not your girl. Cuckold is when your girl is in play. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's sound cuckoldish, man. Did Puff ever participate?
Nah, man. Nah, he stayed across the room. Like I said in my testimony, the closest he got to actual action, like it was one time.
What? Cam, what was that? You don't believe him? Do y'all believe him? Because that's hard for me to believe too.
Almost every session happened in the living room, but it was one specific one where we got moved to the bedroom, me and her.
Mm-hmm.
So in the bedroom, he he's in a closer proximity because he's walking around the bed. And at some point, like almost at like the strip club, he took like a stack of hundreds and just threw it on the bed while we was while me and her was having sex. And we both was like, what's going on? And he just was like, nah, I'm enjoying this shit. And we just kept doing what we was doing.
Right. So the nigga basically, pardon me, I'm gathering information as we talk. Y'all in the bed, he's circling the room, takes out sack of hundred, just throw it on the bed.
Throw it on the bed.
Wow. It's crazy. Sorry about that. I was just thinking, what was the most money you made doing this with them?
Every single time I came, it was $1,200 or $2,000. But like I said, sometimes I could come 3 days in a row.
Right. So
it would be $1,200, $2,000, $1,200 for that. You know what I'm saying?
For that session.
3 days. Yeah, exactly.
Got you. And it would last 2-3 days?
Yeah, 2-3 days, but not straight. Like a few hours, I'll go home, you'll come back again. A few hours, I'll go home, come back again. You know?
That nigga's on time. That nigga's on clockwork. That's a wild nigga, man. I also seen that you say Cassie said she felt comfortable with you. Did you take that as she liked you?
Are you looking?
I would take it as she probably felt safe. Like if something probably was to go down, he'd probably protect her. And that probably was one of the times where she was not getting her ass beat when they was having sex. You know what I mean?
I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse? Or?
It sounded like Cassie was being strategic to lessen the bodies. So if he was forcing her to do this and she acted like she liked him, she could just have sex with him. You know what I'm trying to say? Like she didn't have to have so many multiple partners. So she made sure, to me, it sounded like she made sure she pretended like she liked it a little bit more with him.
Participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like it was, I knew it was clear, man. This was something we were setting up for her dude, right? At the time, I'm thinking her husband, because she said this to me the very first encounter, right? So I didn't think it was a personable, she's into me. But obviously, if this is something that has to be done based on their sexual fetish, well, she's going to do it with somebody that, all right, I'm comfortable with this dude, you know?
Right.
So I always took it as however the vibe was, however things went, it worked for her. So that's why she said, I want to call you back, you know?
Got you. Did Puff ever appear jealous while you guys were having intercourse or participating with each other?
Not at all, man. Not at all. It was like good to go. Like I told you, the focus was making sure he got the right visuals, the lighting was right, put more baby oil on. Like he was into it from an enjoyment standpoint, not. Yeah.
So, but you saying he basically never was jealous. Did Cassie ever reach out to you without Puff?
Nah, it was strictly business. And honestly, man, I wasn't even trying to play that, get caught up in some type of fantasy. I know one of the other dudes got caught up in some fantasy of they could be together. I knew what it was, man. Like,
right.
she with a dude in $30,000 a night suites. Like I move. I can pull it off with chicks, but that's a tough act to follow. You know what I'm saying? So I saw it as an opportunity, man, and I was just trying to come through to, come up whatever way I could with that easy money. How I saw it.
Yeah, I ain't knocking you, my nigga. How was that pussy though?
Wow, Cam.
I mean, bro.
I'm gonna fast forward that.
Even if it was fire,
bro, was the pussy good? If you're not gay, you're saying?
Absolutely not.
Bro. Right.
I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And
damn, I can't go.
Bro, was the pussy good for your family? Let's stop with political shit. We was Harlem time, my nigga. You 39th Street on 40th. Was the pussy? How was that pussy, my nigga?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I couldn't get there, bro.
Okay.
Like, I got a dude pacing back and forth, beating his joint. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My peripherals, my spider senses is wilding. You know what I'm saying? And especially when I found out it was Puff. When I found out it was Puff, it got all the way worse because if you grew up in Harlem, if you grew up in that era, I can't validate it, but everybody knows there's rumors, right? There's rumors that he could be, interested in dudes. So the whole time I'm semi-paranoid. Like I wrote in my book, bro, for real. I got a hearing problem.
Right.
And sometimes when he would give her directions, I would hear like something completely different. Like he'll say, yo, I like the position you in. And I'm like, yo, did he just say I wish I could penetrate him? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hearing, like, yo, hold on, wait, what did you just say? Like,
so basically, you never could get comfortable because. So let's just be clear and get the elephant out the room for the audience. You're not gay? You're saying?
Absolutely not.
Right. So therefore, you're saying that already, just to put everything into perspective, that you're there for this chicken to get this money. You don't know it's Puff this whole time. So you're already thinking like, okay, this nigga's being weird, whoever it is. And I got to keep an eye out for him because we don't know what type, in case he want to, if he get mad, if he want to join. I'm not with none of that. I'm here to bone your bitch like you paid me to do and stay the fuck out of it. But what you're saying is the paranoia intensified once you found out it was Puff and you like, oh, hold on. Now this shit done got to 10 because not only am I fucking this nigga girl.
Ooh.
Hey, you want a massive playhouse, like a big old playhouse?
World we live in. It's crazy.
But it's Puff. So now you saying you hearing shit that you wasn't hearing, and now you can't really enjoy the pussy like you want to enjoy it. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Like I'm not intimately connected, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I don't think I got a real erection the entire time.
Right.
Like I was loading up on any pill, anything that I could take just to get there because I could not connect.
Yeah, we
You know what I'm saying? It was too paranoid, it was official paranoid, bro. Like,
right.
Because I'm not used to being in that situation. And then it's like homie got on the veil and butt naked. And then like I said, I find out it's Puff. And then it's the rumors. So real talk, I'm like, yo, I don't want this to go left.
Right.
So,
well, listen, man, we're going to get you some pink horsepower because it don't matter what the situation is. That joint work. We're going to, you from the block, we'll send you a case up there. Nah, you already, nigga, that ain't about nothing. Did you go raw ever?
Yo, bro, yeah, for real, bro. That same day when he threw the stack of hundreds,
right?
Like we were on the bed and I started out, I'm eating a box, right? And after you would tell it was like some excitement, some connection. So when I pop up, she's scooting towards me for the penetration. And she kind of looked at him and he was like, yo, go ahead, have a good time. And I was wild reckless. I just
What?
was what it was.
So it's only one time you went raw. You repeatedly
Nah,
went.
that was, let's say that was the 4th time, and then it was every time to the last time.
Got you. Gotta go raw sometime. You gotta go raw and Cassie be like that, my nigga. Um, some of my co-hosts, they got a couple questions for you, but I got one more question before they ask you a couple questions. We hear about 50's baby mom Daphne being involved in some of these things. Did you ever fuck Daphne, 50 Cent's baby mother?
Nah, every time I was called or involved in any way, it was only Cassie specifically.
All right, cool, man. Hey, yo, my man Larry, Sheree, you got a question for him? We get ready to wrap this up. Sheree, you've been great, man, and thank you for participating. A couple more questions before we get you out of here. And also, we want to talk about your book before you go as well.
I appreciate that.
Yo, what's good, fam? So my question is, you said on the first night, you said the first night that she asked you if you wanted to continue, and you said no. So when you so I'm asking is, she wanted to continue. Was Puff there? So basically, I'm saying, did she want to do it without Puff?
So when she came in the room, when she came back in the room and asked me, her actual words was, "Do you want to finish?" Right. So I found out later, finish meant me busting the nut.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So, yeah. So she offered, but like I said, I just turned it down. And if I'm keeping it 100, part of the reason why I turned it down is because I was struggling to get my joint up and hold an erection anyway, because homie got on the veil. I don't know who it is. He's pacing back and forth. So I couldn't get in that zone anyway. So I turned it down. You know, obviously I'm trying to be professional or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think I could have finished if I wanted to.
But he wasn't in the room with you anymore.
He wasn't, but what I would assume what would have happened was she would have said, "Do I want to?" And if I would have started, he would have walked back in.
All right, then I got two more. So the other one was, when he threw a stack of money on you, were you able to keep that money? Was that the most money that he threw on you? Was that like, well, you said it was a stack of hundreds? Like how like you said earlier, 1,200 to 2,000. Was it more than that, or was that the 1,200 to 2,000? Because when I think of a stack, I think of like 5,000, 10,000.
Nah, it wasn't a stack. It was, I believe it was 2,000. And honestly, I thought that was a day I was going to really make a lot of bread, because the 2,000 got thrown on the bed, was put to the side. And as soon as we finished, it was handed to me. So I was hoping then she was going to come, because she would come at the end of the night and pay me again. And that'd be an additional money. But that 2,000 ended up just being the money I got. So it wasn't like a super payday of a session. So I just pretty much got my money in advance, you know.
I got you. My last question is, when all this kind of came about, you know, there's this history now of Puff being really violent. Were you scared to testify? Are you scared of retribution? Are you like was that an issue for you to go testify?
See this property on Craigslist for $4,300 a month?
Good question. That was a great question.
Yeah, I mean, it's something you have to consider, right? But look, what I understand is the details of what went on. Obviously, they're going to be embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? In terms of what happened in those encounters, and you know, I got to testify to what happened. But the truth of the matter is, I don't feel like I was biased, or let's say, threw him under the bus, right? You know, none of my testimony is saying she was abused. Like, you know, there was aggression, there was it was not consented. You know what I'm saying? She was under the influence of the drugs, because that's just not true, right? Like, everything seemed in the right mind. Everybody seemed cool. All my communications and everything with her was on point. So honestly, I thought me testifying my actual facts actually probably benefited to the defense. To this day, I'm still not exactly sure why the prosecution wanted me to testify. So I felt like as long as I go up there and say exactly what happened, again, there's going to be an embarrassing element to it. But I don't think I don't think my testimony seemed biased as if I was trying to do anything other than telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? Not like framing things, you know what I'm saying, to go out of my way to put him in a bad light or put anybody in a light other than what the facts were.
Cool. And my other co-host PT got a couple questions.
Yeah, what's going on, family? The question I wanted to ask you was when she first told you in your first encounter, when she hit you and she told you it was for her husband, as you progressed and kept going with her after these dates, at any point did you think she enjoyed it as well as Puff or more than Puff?
So there was only one time where I can, I testified it to it also, where it was clear to me that I thought she enjoyed it. Like, and that was the first time we were at Raw, and he threw the money and stuff like that. Because you obviously, we fellas, we mess with chicks. You know the mannerisms when it's a connection and when it's not, right? So, but I could say that's the only time it was overtly, I thought, and this is my perspective, that she was enjoying it. The other times, it was clear it was acting. We were putting on a show. Not that she was against it, but I'm not gonna like go on no ego trip like, oh, she was loving it, she was loving me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get those vibes. We were putting on a show.
All right, second question. When he gave y'all the permission to go Raw the first time, right? Because you said it continued after that. Once you started going Raw repetitively, did he give you instructions where you had to nut at or you came in her?
Yeah, so I didn't get the instructions from him, but
Okay.
it was instructions from her, like specifically. Every time I nutted, I had to nut in or around the outside of her box. Like, so on her clit, on the lips, everything, and to that degree on the outside of her vagina. And that was clockwork. It had to be done like that every single time. And actually, it was kind of mandatory. Like the session could not be over unless I nutted, and I had to nut on the outside of her vagina. Like,
You couldn't leave until that happened?
yeah, that was like mandatory. It was like
So
that gotta happen.
Yeah, this got to be something stemming from childhood. This cannot possibly. This got to be some type of fetish that he picked up. And before, this is sick, y'all.
For the session to be over.
and those instructions that she gave you, they came from him or they was from both of them or just her?
I mean, like I said, I only ever spoke to her.
Mm-hmm.
So the instructions came from her.
Okay.
Good. Y'all good? Yo, Ray, man. So before we get you out of here, tell us a little bit about your book.
Yeah, so my book came up in the trial because I talked about this story, the situation in their graphic. I didn't name no names. My book was actually written before it, but it's called In Search of Freezer Meat. I picked that name because I was in the Caribbean with a chick, and we was messing around in the water, and I got brick, and she reached down and touched my joint and said, "Yo, it's hard as freezer meat." So I kind of stuck with it, and it's about as we get older, like hooking guys up with horsepower, and it's inevitable, right? As we get older,
He got a book called Freezer Meat.
start getting erection issues. So me being a stripper, being in this sexual light, and then getting erection issues.
Speak for yourself.
That was like demoralizing for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like my whole flow was my sexuality. So I went on this quest to correct it, and the correction ended up being a penile implant, which is the best decision I ever made in my life. It sounds wild, but I'm telling you, if your joint ever completely stopped working, you'll consider it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of wrote a book. I fucked the dudes that hit the end of that road.
Wow.
We're Phoenix Center.
Oh, y'all, this dude is funny as fuck. This too much.
there's options. You know, most erectile dysfunction is mental. It's not even nothing wrong with you physically. Dudes that are suffering or start to suffer, and it's a self-help book, kind of gives you information based on funny stories. It's not like medical jargon. It's real funny, entertaining stories that give you solutions and remedies and what to do and what not to do to kind of get back on point. And, you know, it came up in the trial, so it's being clowned. Like it's I wrote it to be humorous, but it's real serious, useful information on there. People buying it. I hit like a #1 bestseller on Amazon. People writing me. I got dudes DMing me, like, because nobody wants to talk about it, right? Everybody taking a pill, everybody using some sort of enhancer, but nobody got a problem. So we know that's not the case. And I just decided, you know, I kind of put myself on blast, put it out there, but in a solid one at all. It was super unreliable. And that's emasculating to the next level.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this: since all this been going on, has the price went up? Has niggas been hitting you? Is it like niggas? Are you in demand right now? Like,
Yo, dude, as crazy as it sounds, man. Like my DM is filled up with dudes like, yo, my wife, can I hire you? Like it's for real. But my man, I ain't answering none of the messages, man. I just was investigated by the feds. Like I'm good. I'm retired. I don't want no smoke, no problems. I ain't trying to get set up. I ain't trying to, dude, I'm good.
nah, that's what's up. Yo, Ray, I really, really appreciate you coming on the show, man. Like, whatever you still got your book, everything you got going on, keep pushing. Don't let this minor setback fuck up what you got going on for the future. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck from another Harlem nigga, my nigga.
Man, I appreciate that, bro. Thanks for the opportunity.
Nah,
man.
anytime, man. Good luck to you and keep killing these bitches, nigga.
Man, appreciate you, homie.
I love, bro.
This dude crazy, y'all. Hey. Okay, I'm out of here, y'all. Stay woke, stay nosy, and stay black. Cause I will. Peace.